Well, knock wood, the Zoom and the TVs are all working.
Yeah.
The whole TV thing came undone last week again, and Jason came in and fixed it.
Say what it was?
He did, but I didn't retain it, Dean.
And 2 weeks prior, he explained it to me and I didn't. Something about the remotes weren't synced and if you had to cover up the little laser in one, the other.
The conversations I'm having on a daily basis with Jeff Gouye. Hanging on, went, Jeff, that sounds great. I have no idea what you just said, but go ahead, run with it.
We'll call the meeting in order. It's 5:30. I would make a motion. We approve the minutes of the April 23rd meeting of the Board of Selectmen.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No communications, appointments and resignations. So I received a thing from Aquarian. Really strange, actually. They're looking to have each municipality appoint an individual to a representative policy board, which is a quasi judicial board that's gonna meet once a month, and then the subcommittees of that board will also meet once a month. And there's a whole litany of job duties, if you will. And I'm gonna post it all on the net, or on a website and see if we get interest or feedback from anyone in the community interested in doing it. It's actually a paid position, so the appointed individual would make $250 per meeting.
Wow.
So you have 3 meetings in a month and they're all in the evening.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's really.
And what is the purpose, what is their role?
Their role was to set policy, do capital projects, act as, this person will be a liaison between the town that represents and Aquarian and be part of the decision-making process, setting up,
Wow.
infrastructure and things like that. But it's got,
Is this a state required thing because they're not a quasi public agency, right? They're
No,
a private agency.
but I'm sure it's, Heroes probably told them you need this to.
Yeah.
Big deal with all the health departments too, or all the health departments deal with them, right?
Right.
So they are tied in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, sure.
I wouldn't
Wow.
mind if the next health department representative might be that person.
Yeah. We make
That would
that.
be-
Yeah, they even talk in the Q&A about, ideal qualities of an individual interested,
Right.
the capital projects, things like that. But I've got to get it all up on the website. It's pretty involved. And then we'll see what kind of interest we can generate.
Okay.
First selectmen's report. So as everyone may or may not know, the school budget passed in all 3 towns.
Right.
So that's in the rear view.
Yeah.
I got a call from the real estate department of Aquarian wanting to look into the feasibility of doing test wells over at the primary school property. There's a lot of issues with this right off the bat. The first call I got was from Nicole at Region 12. They sent Donald Leary a letter saying, hey, we're gonna do this and da. And she said, wait a minute, we have water issues. So, I mean, I'm not gonna turn it outright. I am gonna meet with the representatives, find out more what's involved.
Well, what's their purpose?
They feel that it may be an area where they can put like a cistern or a water, facility kind of thing. But the bottom line is it's property.
Yeah,
So,
right. Well, that's why they said.
and they acknowledged that in the letter they finally sent me was, with your permission, da. So I'm just gonna meet with the representatives to learn more about it.
Any gain for the town? Or is it just? strictly
Yeah,
that?
they mentioned that they would pay for any kind, because we'd have to give them an easement to do it.
So they want to dig a well basically to provide water for the clients down.
Not yet. The first step, Jay, is
See, that's the idea.
yeah, they want to do test wells to see the viability of it.
Interesting. That's the most we've talked about Aquarian since I've been on the board. No, we did have, they were up on Wickham doing their thing.
The only other thing I had is our groundwater wells were completed last week, and Go Environmental was contacted. They're gonna be coming out next Thursday to do a collection of first samples. So give them a week to 10 days after that before we hear something.
Okay, this is the deeper set of wells.
Yeah, these went through the bedrock.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, good.
they only had to go down, I think it was around 33 feet to hit water. So it was not quite as deep as I thought they'd have to go,
Yeah.
but I mean, the other ones, the surface, it's almost all wetlands back there. You can,
Right. Well, that's interesting.
Kind of wish it was deeper.
Yeah, but that'll give them the information they need according
Yeah, I
to
know.
environmental. And that's all I had for my report, guys. Jay? you have any?
I'm good tonight.
Okay, Dino?
Just give you a little, couple of updates. Deacon's going very well. The lake, we're had very little pushback, really good compliance. I tell you, if I've had two complaints, that's been a lot. They've both been easily, persuaded, so it's going very well. Jeff Gunier has been doing a marvelous job. It looks like he may take over a supervisor role. Housatonic Health, there's a little issue with New Milford. Some of their ordinances are, tighter than HVHD. So, and this was an issue here, I think a little bit too. I think we've cleaned it up. It's maybe an issue. It's an interesting situation where we get into a situation where towns are under the auspices of some other organization, like health department,
Mhm.
and their private ordinances or local ordinances may be stricter. They can't be less strict.
Right.
Right,
But if they're stricter, that's a problem because we can't sign off on something. So if two people waiting on wells that we would sign off on, HVHD would sign off on, and they can't because it's a violation of New Milford's local ordinance. So they're trying to work with the town and really
Wow.
rework those ordinances. So it's something, if specifically we want to look, I think that
Yeah.
they're happy with all of ours. I don't think ours are an issue anymore. They're all in line. So
that's strange. It's the first time this has come up in 3 or 4 years.
I agree. I asked the
Right.
same question to the attorney at that point, and there were, what? The next action is not clear, actually. I said, can we sign off and say, consistent, we're signing off per our purview, but if New Milford, you still have to get permission from New Milford. Well, that's not really the way it works, because the health department signs off on something and then people start digging a well.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think we're seeking, Randy's got to weigh in a little bit too, since he's, New Milford's county,
Right.
he can probably, streamline it a little bit. The other thing is, just a heads up, we will be going up per capita. The health departments across the state, there's just no federal funding at all.
now they've already sent us their budget, Dean, right?
Right, for this year, we're
Right,
fine, we're able to toe the line, but it is still,
It's
be the
good.
last year.
Yeah.
It'll go up per capita, it's not. We're at $10 a head, which is still great, but it'd probably be 12 or something.
Yeah.
Still. But,
That's it for me.
interesting.
Thanks, Dean. Old business, new business. Setting the agenda for the May 21st town meeting. That's right.
Yes, thank you.
So this is a motion, voters and electors of the town of Washington hereby warn that the annual town budget meeting will be held on Thursday, May 21st, 2026, 7:30 PM at Bryan Memorial Town Hall, Washington Depot, Connecticut, to consider and act upon the following. One, to consider and act upon the proposed general fund expenses and transfers for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Two, to consider and act upon the proposed non-recurring capital expenses for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Three, to approve a request from the Housing Commission to allocate $45,000 from the Housing Fund for the additional work required at the Washington Community Housing Trust Baldwin Hill project. Four, to amend ordinance 153 historic districts, section 153.01A3. Five, to amend ordinance 30.01 annual town meeting time and date, dated at Washington, Connecticut, this 7th day of May 2026. James L. Britton, Humble Bank, Dean Sargent, Board of Selectmen. Is there a second?
Second.
So let me just explain quickly, the item number 4, the ordinance for the historic district.
You're adding that one.
We had a resident reach out, their address was just outside of the
Calhoun. was
or
that?
Ives,
Yeah.
Calhoun Historic District. I said, that has to go to the Historic District Commission, who in turn, yes, approved it. Comes back to us to put it on the agenda because those districts are strictly created by ordinance. So this simply
Yeah.
brings in that. The fifth one with the town meetings simply moves the time from 7:30 to 7 o'clock.
Do you have that ordinance?
Yeah, but,
Historic,
No,
Oh.
the town meeting.
yeah, may I?
Yes, please.
The ordinance specifies only the October meeting
Right.
as the annual at 7. The May one, for some reason, has stayed at 7:30. That's not part of the ordinance. It
Right.
only addresses the October.
Well, my point being is there is no ordinance that I'm aware of, because I went through them all with that group. That
Correct.
specifies there is any time for town meetings except for the October one, which I didn't realize, otherwise I would have taken that out and said all town meetings, but I don't believe we have an ordinance that tells us we have to have town meetings at 7:30. That's been our tradition. But there's no ordinance.
No, we don't. So if, may I wanted to add to the ordinance that we have with
Yeah.
the October.
Yeah,
Because this meeting got to be very confusing, because some people said, well, we're always at 7:30, and I said, no, the October one is now at 7. Well, then why is May at 7:30? So what I came up with, and please tell me before I publish this, was that the amendment would be that the annual business meeting of the town shall be held on the first Monday in October at Town Hall at 7 PM, except on those dates where it shall coincide with religious holiday. It shall then be held on the first Tuesday of October. That's how it stands now. The annual budget meeting of the town shall be held on the third Thursday in May at Town Hall at 7 PM. Special town meetings shall be scheduled at the discretion of the Board of Selectmen.
that's fine.
Is that all
Well,
right?
you have the budget hearing. What about the actual budget vote?
I meant budget. I had budget meeting, the annual budget meeting.
And then, oh,
We
but
don't care about the hearing.
hearing is not,
It's not
it's a hearing, it's not, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's great.
Thank you.
And I would have done, we would have done that back when we were going through these, but we didn't realize the October
So that's-
was even in,
That's the language that we're presenting.
yes,
Correct.
that's the change.
Well done.
Okay,
And the Housing Commission, this is what we brought to the Board of Finance, they struck water. Up there, all in favor? Aye. Authorization to have DOT conduct a traffic study on Route 202 for a possible speed reduction. So what I'm looking for is, and I make the motion, that the Board of Selectmen, as the local traffic authority, reach out to DOT, ask them to conduct a traffic study and a feasibility of a speed reduction on Route 202 at the intersections of Garland Road. So it'd have to be a little bit before that, but we've had a lot of residents complaining they can't get out of those roads at certain points without risking a T-bone because of the speeds.
You're not,
And
what's,
there's been several accidents up there. So it's up by Mount Tom.
Yeah,
oh,
It's that long straightaway, and people coming out of Garland up at the corner of Mount Tom. Cars coming from Morris, they're just
what
flying
is it there? What's the speed there? Jim?
45.
45 right now.
and it's downhill.
So it'd just be that one little section there that you want it reduced to 40 or.
Yeah, and the state probably won't, but at the very least, we get the conversation going and then we say, okay, can you put up some kind of a caution sign or a warning sign well ahead of Garland? To give these people some relief, because there's been 2 accidents
Right.
recently. I mean, I've had people send me the pictures, so.
It hurt to ask the state.
And just do a safety study. So
Yeah.
one they did on 109, they realized they had a passing zone up there by Potters that shouldn't have been there. They
Right.
eliminated that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Visitors, Randy's in person. We'll start with Randy.
This has been a pet. Pete, when it goes back to Region 12. Why do both the town and the region has the same auditor? And they've been, Charles Hebbett, I think, goes back decades.
Yeah.
It's in a private business, that's like one of the red flag no-nos, something to think about, because you've really got a conflict between Region 12 and the town.
I think, if I'm right, we put it out to bid 2 years ago here,
I don't know about that. I don't.
because the Board of Finance was not necessarily with the school.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, my experience in school boards, and that is that I've been in towns where they did that. And it's a nightmare because none of the auditing agency, companies rarely do public sector accounting and public sector. And it causes nightmares for the public sector, the finance office. That's the rest.
When
That's
they're
been,
not, when it's not done by the same company,
well, I
is that
don't.
what you're saying? What causes the night?
I mean, when you're hiring an accounting firm that does not have experience in public sector accounting. Because they really, they really don't get how that works. It takes. And there's not that many accounting firms, at least at Beth. Of course, I haven't done this in 10 years, but that's why. Now, in a town like New Milford, it's the same agency that does the school board and the town because it's the towns. It goes with the town's attorney because they're all one,
They're one unit
right? So,
versus a regional, which is.
right.
Did you, what, the region, what did they say, Randy?
Well, they've been using, I was on board back in the nineties, and they were using
Charles
Charles.
Evans.
Right.
It's changed at all.
It's the
just-
same one in Region 14 and Woodbury too.
It's kind of. It's like, it's any kind of business. And, you know, there's certain things you run every year, there's certain things you look at more closely in 3 years. Just because that's how you pick up errors, you pick up,
Mhm.
you know. I was with a company, we got embezzled for about 90, first year, they hit it for about 6 on Bacon Woods. Second year was 18 grand, then they got greedy, and the third year was like 65.
Yeah.
And we picked it up completely on some anomalies on the Christmas bonuses. When there were checks being cut and there weren't any people.
Right.
But, I just,
Yeah, have you gotten any feedback from the school as to why they do it?
I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay.
In the school, because they've been, I mean, they're so implanted with, the way they do things down there. I mean,
Well,
Jay would know
that
that.
there's no, I mean, when I was on the board, we looked at it a couple times and they Charles Evans came back with the best price. They've had a long experience of doing an excellent job. And I've used them in 2 different places when I, here and so that was the rationale there.
And it did come up with our Board of Finance, this current board. I
Yeah,
remember
and maybe they went out to bid for, and they
Yeah.
won anyway. I don't buy the thing about personally, but that's just me about, that you need somebody new to come in. I haven't, we're not multi-million dollar, billion-dollar companies here, but that's just not me.
Thanks, Randy. Let's go to Bob and Sandy online. Anything?
No, I'm good, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Susan? Leslie? I would make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
I got 3 seconds.